right, guys, so we got to talk about something that, quite honestly, I'm just sick and tired of seeing in our country, which are left-wing activists protesting violently for other countries. Okay, they're not protesting violently for Americans. Okay, they're not protesting on behalf of Americans. They're actually protesting on behalf of other people in foreign countries, and they are getting violent, right? They are trying to keep normal, everyday people from enjoying our lives, okay? Like, for example, enjoying a holiday like Christmas, because they want you to be sympathetic to a conflict going on overseas that, you know, hey, it's not America, okay? So that is what happened last night in New York City, okay, as some pro-Palestine protesters, rioters, got arrested for being violent, doing a protest on Christmas Day in an attempt to cancel Christmas. Take a look.
We want to turn our attention now to some talk about the tensions in our area over the ongoing crisis in the Middle East. Kind of boiled over here last night.
Yeah, we've seen a number of these protests. Last night, 6 people were arrested after protesters clashed with police in Midtown. And this was just part of a wider action, if you will, that was happening across the country. Yeah. It was particularly outside some Biden officials and the Pentagon as well. And obviously, it's happening right here in the heart of the holiday season, you know, leaving us to wonder if this is having an effect on New Yorkers as they shop and do their business during the holidays.
So let's get the latest. After last night, what's going on this morning? Janice, you is live in Midtown, as we always are on the scene of breaking news. So Janice, how do things look right now? What are people saying about what happened last night as well?
Yeah, good morning, guys. Well, you know, today it's packed, and it was surely packed last night, Christmas, when people were out here celebrating and that protest broke out. As you guys mentioned, 6 people ended up being arrested. Now, these were a group of pro-Palestinian protesters, and they moved from here to other parts of Midtown. During the way, they were chanting, "Christmas is canceled here." They were waving the Palestinian flag. Some were carrying a "No Joy in Genocide" nativity scene that was splattered in fake blood, and things escalated. That is when protesters clashed with officers near Grand Central Station and Union Square, leading to those 6 arrests. Those arrests were for menacing an officer, graffiti, as well as disorderly conduct. So we have seen these protests pop up here and there. Yesterday was no exception, but of course this had to happen during all the chaos that was Christmas Day. Back to you guys.
Yeah, so this is shameful, obviously, right? You have people who don't think that Christians or Americans should be able to enjoy a holiday, a holy day, because of some issues that they have with some conflict going on overseas. Again, it's incredible stuff. I don't understand why there are any reasons to visit any of these liberal cities during any type of holidays or when these left-wingers are losing their minds. In fact, if you listen to Eric Adams tried to explain and articulate reasons to visit NYC, he doesn't do a very good job of selling it to anybody. Take a look.
Mr. Mayor, we've come to the end of what was a very eventful 2023, right? So when you look at the totality of the year, if you had to describe it, and it's tough to do, in one word, what would that word be, and tell me why?
New York. This is a place where every day you wake up, you could experience everything from a plane crashing into our trade center to a person who's celebrating a new business that's open. This is a very, very complicated city, and that's why it's the greatest city on the globe.
Wow, incredible stuff, right? When asked to describe his year in one word, he gives a bunch of words, right? I guess he tried to say that, well, New York is the way to, I guess, his one word, right? And then he goes on to describe New York, which is as a city that you can wake up one day and see a plane crash into the World Trade Center, or you can see, you know, new businesses open up. Again, I'm not sure who told him to say that, or, you know, the thought process of him actually saying that. But again, this is why you should think before you speak, right? You shouldn't just, you know, start speaking immediately when you ask questions like that, because you might end up saying something dumb like what he just said, or at the very least, it to me doesn't sound like a very enticing reason to visit New York City, okay? Especially, again, with all of these left-wing rioters running around across the place and destroying the city and, you know, committing acts of violence. Again, on Christmas Day, saying that we need to cancel Christmas. You should not be able to enjoy Christmas. Again, I don't see why anybody lives in any of these cities. I don't see why anybody wants to visit these cities. And I think that what you're saying happening to these cities is actually the fall of once great American cities, okay? Which, you know, hey, could be a good thing in the long term, because this may give rise to smaller cities or mid-sized cities that aren't overwhelmingly run by liberals. A lot of these cities still are run by liberals, but maybe they might be more sane than some of these cities like New York and Chicago and San Francisco that clearly are falling, okay? But again, this is what happens when you have a little bit too much diversity, equity, and inclusion in one place, right? You have these protests, again, and these riots that have gotten violent. You're talking about police being attacked over a foreign conflict, in which, you know, I've thought about a solution to this, right? This is what I think should happen, okay? Because I think an act of violence is simply a sign that you want to fight a war, right? Because if you're willing to commit an act of violence over here in the United States on behalf of another country, then that implies that you want to fight the war. So you should go over to Palestine and fight on behalf of the Palestinians, since you're so passionate about it, right? You're willing to fight American police. Why don't you go over there to Palestine and fight on behalf of them, right? Fight against the IDF, right? Do exactly what you are doing here in the United States, right? Since you're so big, bad, and tough, okay? I'm so serious, right? I really do think that that should be some type of law, right? If you protest and commit the act of violence on behalf of a foreign country, then you are required to go over there, right? We're going to ship you over there so that you can fight on behalf of that country, because clearly that's what you want, right? Again, this is just, it's just shameful. It really is. Now, again, I understand the argument, right? I understand the Palestinian argument. I understand where they're coming from, okay? But you're making it less likely for me to be sympathetic when you can't even stop rioting for one day, Christmas Day, to allow people to celebrate Christmas and to enjoy their Christmas with their families, right? When you're out here talking about trying to cancel Christmas over a foreign conflict, which again, I understand why they're upset, right? I get it. You know, the American government is involved in giving these weapons to Israel that they're using against the Palestinians. I understand it, right? And in fact, I don't even mind it so much when they go and they protest Democrats, right? When they're at the Democrat headquarters, okay, when they're at the Democrat holiday parties, hey, I ain't really got that much to say about it, right? I support their right to free speech and protest. Now, I don't support the violence, but I support their right to free speech and protest, okay? I understand where they're coming from, okay? But this is something that I think is too far, right? You're not helping yourself in regards to public opinion when you are making people's lives more difficult by conducting these protests, especially on a day like Christmas. And then you're also doing things like blocking highways, blocking airports, right? There are airports in which you already have a ton of delays. Okay, a lot of flights are getting canceled. It's the holiday season madness. And then you also have these pro-Palestinian protesters blocking roadways, not letting people get to airports to catch planes to go see their friends and their families for the holidays. Again, you're not making it less likely for me to sympathize with your cause, okay, or to agree with you. Again, if you got a problem with U.S. foreign policy in regards to what we're doing over there, then take it up with the people that are responsible, aka the Democrats, right? Which they have. But just stick to that. Stick to that. Don't try to make everybody else suffer for something that, again, it's a foreign conflict, and also Democrats, right, the people in charge, are responsible for what is happening, okay? Or supporting what is happening, put it that way, right? So, like I said, man, I'm just sick and tired of seeing this. I think we should see more arrests, right? I mean, again, that's another part of this that I'm sick and tired of seeing, is every single time this happens, they only make like 5 or 6 arrests, and you looking at the videos, you're like, yo, all these people are violent, right? A lot of these people are violent. They should be arrested at least 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 individuals, okay? Again, until you start making an example out of some of these people, again, people that commit acts of violence, not the ones that are actually being peaceful protesters, of course, but until you start making examples out of some of these people that are committing these acts of violence, you're going to continue to see it. So, hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.